Now this is really a 360-degree turn.
¿Nani?
¿Pero qué carajos? ¿Dónde están tus raíces españolas?
I don't know what you're talking about, the little friend.
Really, nigga?
Okay. Let me help you just a little. Okay, now.
What the hell did you just... why did you change my voice?
Well, you know, as servants, I have one of those passives, and in my case will be my editing magic.
Really? Editing magic? Well, I mean, that's not the real question. The real question is, why? Why did you do that?
In the last video, I told the Spanish community that this video will be in English. It's gonna be a small experiment, just in this case. But don't worry, obviously we'll have subtitles in Spanish. And I have a proposal for the English community, okay? If this video has support, pay attention. If this video has support, I promise to bring more videos of this kind of style and clearly with the Spanish subtitles. Or we can make more videos in Spanish, as always, and with English subtitles. Your choice, my friends, your choice. And before we get in start, I have to say something more, and it is about my English. I'm still improving it, so if you see that if there is something strange or something that doesn't make sense, well, you know why. You know why already. And I think that will be all.
I have a question.
Okay, what is it?
You just want to expand your chat.
I knew it. Even in any other languages, you are still the freak. The Spanish community knows what my guides are like, but the English community doesn't. So, I'll be brief with the explanation. First of all, we will be talking about the servant's values. I'm not going to, just read it, but we'll analyze if it is good for a SSR Lancer, also their roles, where it can be used. You know how it is. You know how it is the case for these videos. Well, starting with his stats, he has triple quick, 1 arts and 1 buster. For some people it can be a lot. For me it's... I shouldn't say it's a lot, but it might be negative in these cases. And even more right now, since we can generate starts more easily. I will have like around, I don't know, double quick, double arts to load his NP very quick. I mean, it might be good, but it's okay, since his combos are double quick and arts. We need to understand that part. And the other combo, it might be buster, quick and arts. He has a fairly high life, but his attack is low for a SSR and even more for a Lancer. They usually has around 11k, something like that. In his other stats, Enkidu has a very good charge, 11% in his first position and 16 in his third position, which is very good, very good. Not as good as Eriskigal, but you know how it is, at least it's something, let's be real. This is something. Also, his star generation is pretty good, pretty good. From 5-star in first position to 14 in first and second position, and almost 40 with all his quick combo. I mean, we need to understand a few things. All the percentages that I'm actually saying, it might be that one, but at the same time might generate around 10% in first position with his arts. You know, I mean 10% or 12, whatever the case, also depending on the enemies, but you need to understand that it's close. His only 2 bad negative points, it will be his attack, which is low, as we have already said, and his 2 buster cards, which in certain point, I mean, it's not that really bad, but still, the character, it will be dealing more damage if he has double buster. But it's okay, it's still okay to do a burst of damage for his NP. Before we start talking about his skills, we need to understand, first of all, his roles. He can go as DPS in teams compositions, he can go in solos, which is going to be one of his best points in certain point, and it's going to make sense thankfully to his second and third skill. Why do I say this kind of things? Because he has one of the best survivabilities of all the entire game. Also has one of the best healings, as long as we don't, look at his cooldown, which is one of the biggest one, but it will be okay. The first one, which is gonna be his DPS mode, his Rambo mode, which is gonna give him the opportunity to deal more damage with his Buster card for a turn with a 50%, and it also increase his Quick or Arts cards for a turn, also 50% with a 5-turn cooldown. Okay, it's okay. It's okay. I mean, it will be great if we have any other kind of, you know, special treatment for the character. Maybe reducing the third skill cooldown, but you know how it is, the life. The second one, which is the most important one, why do I say these kind of things? You need to understand he goes for solos. So the evasion, it will be necessary, and even more for his cooldown. Look, decrease the critical rate for a single enemy. Okay, 3 turns, 50%. Okay, pretty good. Let's be real, pretty good. I mean, you need to understand he's a lancer, so he is gonna be fighting against berserkers and archers. Those classes deals a lot of damage, so if we can instantly power control them, we are gonna be the winners. Also, remove evasion buffs for a single enemy. Okay, a little bit situational, but we still have it. But the strong point, the strong effect of this skill is gonna be his last one, which is apply evasion to himself. Okay, 1 turn, it's pretty good. Why do I say these kind of things? Because we have a cooldown of 5 turns. Pretty good, pretty good. Even more for those characters who goes for solos. And finally, the last one, People's Wisdom A+. In this case, he got a new buff, which was battery, a 50% battery. Pretty good, let's be real, pretty good. But it wasn't the cure against cancer for him, because he has such a long cooldown, 10 turn of cooldown. But let's go with the effects. Recover own HP, 10k, basically one of the highest one. But we need to understand that it's not gonna full recover him, but pretty good, it's a telepoint. Remove own debuffs, pretty useful, and even more for this kind of battles. The battery has, I have already told you how it is, 50%, pretty good, and a cooldown of 10 turns. In certain point we need to understand that it's gonna be of only one use, so we better think about it. His passives, he has only one, which is Magic Resistant A, increase the buff's resistance by 20%, I mean, nothing more, nothing special to be honest, basic, completely basic, maybe, who knows, any divinity will be really appreciated for the character, but it's not that really necessary, let's be real in a few things, when we talk about his noble phantoms, which is Enumilis, and let's be real, deals a lot of damage. 800%, good quantity, even if the character doesn't have a good attack, which is lower than 11k, but still good, very good. Also has the opportunity to inflict stun to a single enemy, but it has to be divine. Okay, it's okay, only for 1 turn, let's be real. There are a lot of bosses in Lost that has this trait, so it's no situational. Deals a 200% extra special attack, against 3 to humanity enemies. Not really useful, only against Abigail and Oberon, but after that, also the trees. But after that, not really necessary. And the overcharge effect decrease the defense for a single enemy, 3 turns, active first, very good, for a 30%. Also, Kita has the same, I don't know if 30 or 20%, but it's pretty good, let's be real. You're gonna deal a lot of quantity of damage with all of this. Now, team composition. To be honest, I don't really would like to recommend you any kind in specific, because the character goes especially for solos. But if you are gonna use him as a DPS in a team composition, obviously we are gonna need Koyanskaya, we are gonna need Merlin, we are gonna need, maybe if you want, Chengon, we are gonna need Shakespeare, and maybe any other one, but I don't really remember. Hans, it will be a good help. Also El Meloy, but nothing more. And in solos, he doesn't need a composition. Maybe using a Georgios and a Chingon to die as soon as possible, but after that, nothing else.
Tito JJ, all what you have already said is wonderful, but what about the CEs?
Okay, don't worry. I have the solution for you. Some people prefer to use Enkidu with critical damage, but I prefer to use him with MP generation, basically MP gain. Why? Because we are gonna have the opportunity to use more his noble phantoms, we are gonna reduce more the defense of the enemy, and in consequence we are gonna deal more damage. And it will be more necessary if the enemy has divinity. CEs like Chandra Lifesaver is gonna be really useful for Enkidu, because it's gonna give you 2 effects. Number 1, guts, really useful for solos and really necessary. Another option would be the Black Real I don't really think we are gonna need to explain why. We are gonna deal a huge quantity of damage. And the last one will be orange. Wait, what?
Cute orange git? Orange git? What the freak is that?
To be honest, I don't know how to say it. Whatever. It's gonna give us NP generation by 25%. Pretty good, very useful. NP damage by 15%. Okay, it's gonna be a mix between the Black Grail and Chaldra Lifesavers. Those are not the, the only three options. As long as you have a CE that is gonna give you maybe guts, only guts, or it's gonna give you only NP gain, it's gonna be good. Also, if it has critical damage, it's gonna be really appreciated. And finally, the final decision. Years have passed since Enkidu came out, but still we need to be neutral with the character.
But Tito JJ, Enkidu is good or not?
The answer is simple, my dear friend. Of course. And I will leave it in S tier. In S tier. One of the best single target lancer in the freaking entire game. Good survivability, very good damage, despite, pay attention, despite his base attack. And a servant that I will spend everything for just to get it. Ah, it's true, I already have it. Ha! And you know how it is the thing. If you like my content, leave your like, share the video and subscribe. And I just have to say one thing more. The next time we meet, we will spend quarks. That's all what I'm gonna say. That's all what I'm gonna say.